Modes of router, that means router operating system is Internet Network operating system. It is the Cisco operating system for the routers and switches both. So how what are the modes we have in that Internet Network operating system? So router modes is like what are the modes we have in Internet Network operating system. So before going into see how and what are the modes we have in the routers, what we have to see that how and where we are going to do where we are going to do the practice on it. So this is a software. It is a software called Cisco Packet Tracer. It is provided by the Cisco, and it is a free software which you can use. This is version 8. This is the latest version 8. So when you download this software, you have to log in with the Cisco account for it. Cisco account which you can create freely, and then what you can use this software. Now this software will do what? It will allow you to practice about all the related things of networking. So whatever we want to do the practice, we can do it on this software, and we can also what the organizations or administrator can do what before going into the physical network and configure, they can decide here that what they can do. They can design here, they can see what they can design and how they can do the connection. So for that they have different devices available here, different connections available here, and lots of things are available here. Now when we start this, we see this, and here we have these tools available here, and we have these options here, we have these options here, and also we have these devices available here. In this side, in the bottom corner, you see the devices here, and you can select the different devices and you can see it. Now first of all, it looks very small here. The icons and the text are very small here. So if you see, if you want to increase this, so you can go to the properties here, under the options you will go to this preference. Under the preference you will see the basic settings of your packet tracer, and in that you will go to fonts here first. Now in the font you have different options here. Now first, it is an option for application. That means what is the application here? We have these icons. It is showing very small here. It is showing 8 points. So I will do what? I will increase it first. Let's go with 16. I'll go with 12 first. And I say apply. Now you can see it is now enlarged, and now we can see easily those things, those icons and those options here. So what I did, I enlarged the application here. It was 8 point. I enlarged it to 12, and I think 12 is enough for us. And if you see it is mistaken, then you can do what? You can reset it anytime. Then these are the other settings related to the terminal and the text of the terminal. So when we open the command terminal access of the router, so those terminals, CLI, dialog box and general interface, what will be the size of the font, so it decides all that. Then for the color of the text also it is defining here. So as you required, you can change the size of the text from here, but this is to change the application size. So that is what I wanted to do. So I did it here, and then I closed it. Now we can see these options clearly, and we can see these options clearly, and here under the bottom here we can see the devices clearly also. Now first, what we have here, so first I will show you here. When you select these are the network devices. Here when you select here, it shows that these are the network devices we have, and under the network devices we have routers, we have switches, we have hubs, we have wireless devices, we have security devices, also we have WAN simulators, WAN emulations. So when I click, first of all it is selected the router, so it is showing different type of routers. And when I select switches, it shows different switches we have here. You can see the different series of switches here. Then when I select hubs, so it shows different hubs here. Then when I select the wireless devices, so it shows the different wireless devices here. Then security, we see it shows the security devices, and WAN emulation, it shows the WAN emulation here. Now when I select the routers here, it shows a different series of routers. So as we know that in the router, in a Cisco router, Cisco made these routers in the series, and they are different series, and based on the series they are different. So when I select these routers, it shows these are the different series, like 4331 series, then 4321, 1941, 2900 series, and then 8100 series, 8100 series, 800 series, 1200 series. Now when you select these routers, so you can do what? You can select from here and click on this working area. So the router will appear here. As it is saying, this is ISR 4331 router. And you can do also, you can drag and drop also. You can click, hold and drop. You can see, you can do that also. So if you want to select any device, so you can select the device and then click where you want to put it, or you can do what? You can drag and drop also. Now as we see, these are the different series of routers. We can see the physical view of these routers also. That is also interesting here in Packet Tracer. It shows the physical view also. So we can get the idea that what this type of what this model router looks like. So I will click on this router. I wanted to see this router detail. So I click on it. I click on it one time. So it shows me this. It is showing me here the physical view. This is the physical view. And under the physical view, it is not zoom, so I will zoom out. It is zoom in. So we can see the physical view of that router. It is 4331, and this is the physical view. It is a physical view here, and we can see what this is. 4300 series router. We have a power port here. We have switch for on and off. These are some LED lights indicating related to different features, and this is the front view. And the front view, it is having the icon, it is having the model name. Then in the front view we have a power cable and power button. Then in this side what we have is the console cable here and auxiliary cable. Console cable is for configuring the router, and auxiliary cable is also for configuring the router. Then we have an option for connecting the USB. Small USB port, big USB port, and then we have the fast Ethernet. It is actually gigabit port here. It is the Ethernet port, but it is actually gigabit Ethernet port. Then in the back side what we have is a modular. These are the modulars here, and these are empty modules where we can add different modules to add different ports. As we know that we have two types of routers. One is non-modular. Non-modular, that means it's a fixed router. We cannot change it. We cannot add any extra module for any extra ports or any extra interface. But the modular routers has the modules where we can add the extra interfaces and extra modules to get some extra interfaces. So these are the modules we have. We can add some extra things here. But it has some fixed ports also, like this. These fixed ports. Fixed ports are like these here. We can see it's a gigabit ports, and these are fixed here, which we cannot change. It is already there. But also we have option to put the modules. Now what type of modules we can put in this model of router, this series of router? So we have these modules available here. You can see the modules, and we can see the modules here also. This is a cover to cover these modules. If you don't want to add any modules, this is NIM2T. Then when you select this model, you can see the physical view of that module here, and also what that module will do and what ports they have. It gives you the description here in this site. It is saying it is a NIM 2T, and this is a two-port multi-protocol synchronous serial NIM. So it gives you the synchronous serial port for connecting the WAN network, and it is giving two ports here, and we can use this module in this slot. Now how you can use it? So you can use what? You can drag and drop here. Suppose I want to connect this module into here, so what I will do, I will hold it and drag and then I will drop. But you see what happens when I drop it here? It gives me this option warning here. It says cannot add a module when the power is on. That means very simple, when the machine is running, when your physical router is running, you are not able to add these modules. You have to shut down the router first, then you can add these modules. So in this virtual also, it will not allow you to add the modules when the machine is running. As you can see here, the power is on. You can see the light is blinking here. By default, the router's power is on. So if you want to add any modules, so what you will do, you will switch off the router, and now the light is LED light is not blinking. Now we can drag and drop this module here. Then same as these modules, for these series of router, we have the other modules. We can add the cover also. We can cover it if we don't want to add anything. Then we have these Ethernet ports for this big slot. We can add this here. Okay, it is for the small slot. I have added the cover, so I want to remove the cover, so I will drag it back here, and it is removed. Now I can add this. Then we have this. This is the gigabit port. This is the fiber optic ports we can add. And also we have these ports. So what, we can add these modules here, and we can add these modules, and these are the specific modules for this 4300 series router. And after adding the modules, we can start the router again. Now this is the physical view of the router, and it shows the physical view here. Now just like this 4300 series router, we can see the other series. It is 4321. It is less than 4331. It is a small router than less series than this, so it is a different than that, and it is having a different ports and different configuration. So what we see here in this 4321, this is looking different. It is showing only the back side. It is a front side actually, and only here we have these all the ports are available here in a single side. You have power cable, power port. You have these USB ports available, and then we have the console and auxiliary port. We have the gigabit Ethernet ports for the local network, and also we have these small USB ports. Then also we have slots available here where we can add these modules, and also we have these modules which we can add it into these slots. Then if you see 1900 series router, this is the 1900 series router 1941. So it looks different here. It looks different. It is a small router. It looks like it's a small router. We can see what, again, some of the fixed ports, and we can see the console and auxiliary. Remember, console and auxiliary will always be the fixed port for every router, because these are the ports which we need to configure the router. It is required to configure the router. Then other ports are like USB ports are also giving. These USB ports are actually giving you for connecting the 3G or 4G USB dongle, which we can connect to get the WAN connection or internet connection. Then we have the gigabit Ethernet ports here. We have the slots available to add some modules into it, and these are the modules we can add. So these are the different modules we have which we can add it into these slots. Then this is the 1900 series router. Then you go on to check 2900 series router. It looks different than the others. So when you click on it, it shows like, and it is showing the front side also. Here in this router 2900, it is showing the front end because the power and power cable and power button is there, and rest of the things are in the back side. You have the console and auxiliary port, you have the Ethernet port, USB, and the slots where we can add the different ports or different cover. Then same as we have these other modules, we have these many other different modes of different series of routers here. As you can see, like we have these 2800 series router. This is 2800 series router. Here again we have console and auxiliary port fix, USB port we have here, and also we have here for a slot for adding the flash memory. By default it has inbuilt flash memory, but if you want to increase it, so you can add it here in a flash slot. Here you can add the flash card, compact flash card. It is giving you the option. This is the front side. Then in the back side you have the slots where you can add the modules. You can add different modules, and there are lots of modules available here for this. There are lots of modules, like to add multiple number of Ethernet ports, multiple number of serial ports. So it has all these options available here, which we can add it into these slots, a big slots and a small slot. So there are different modules available to add into it. Then one more thing is here, it is also giving you the optional input for the power. Like this is the main power supply, and it is giving you the option to add the backup power supply also. Like we can add the battery directly, we can attach the battery power for this. So if the main power goes down, still it can have the backup power, so it will still be running. So it gives you that option also. So as I said, like different series has a different configurations. So what configurations they have? They have different interfaces, different options we have, like flash, USB, then modules, non-modules, and you have different interfaces. Some routers have multiple interfaces, some have limited interfaces, but all of them have the same feature. They have one port for WAN connection, they have one port for Ethernet connection, and for configuring the router we have one console port and auxiliary port. So you can go on and see all these routers one by one. You can see the physical view, you can see the physical view of all these routers, so that you will get the idea that how you can do the configuration, how these routers looks. Same as for the switches also, you have these switches here. We have 2900 series switch here, that 2960, and then we have PT switch here, empty switch here, empty, which does not have any ports. You can add multiple ports into it, interface into it. Then you have 3500 series switch here, and 3600 switch here. Then we have 2900 series switch here, 2950, 2950T. Now these are different switches we have, but the packet tracer is actually not good for switches actually. No, it is having a less number of switch, but it is not giving you that number of switch available like the routers it is giving. For routers it is giving lots of series of switches, routers here, but for switches it is not having that much series of switches available. But still these switches are same, so we can go with these switches. Like if I select one switch from here, so this is how it looks. As you can see, it's a multiple ports there. So this is the switch here, and it is what it is having a multiple ports here, so that we can connect multiple devices into it. Now you can see the front side. The front side is this, where we have multiple ports. This is showing the series name here, 2960 series, and it is a catalyzed 2960 series. These are the ports here. We have fast Ethernet ports here. All the ports are fast Ethernet here, and these two extra ports are there. Actually these ports are faster than the other ports we have. Now why these extra ports we have and why these ports are faster than the other ports? We know when we see and when we configure the switches. And in the back side, if you see the switches, so in the back side of the switch you have the power cable, and also you have the console port in a back side. Now this console port, why it is in a backside of the switch? Any switch you use, any Cisco switch you use, the console port will always be on the backside. Why? Because these ports are also RJ45 ports. So users should not be confused with the ports for the data and with the ports with the console port which is used to configure. So if you don't, the user should not be confused it. So that is why they have put it in the backside separately. So these are for the data. These are for the data communication, for the network, for connecting the devices, and this port is to configure the switches. So when you want to configure the switch, then you will connect the port into this console port, and that is why it is in the back side. Now interestingly, when you see here, there is no power button here. In the switches, there is no option to switch off the switch and switch on the switch. There is no power button here. So when you want to power off the switch, then you have to power off directly from the main source. So you can directly switch on from the main source, but you can't switch it from the router, from the switch. Like the router has the power switch, it does not have a power switch here. So these are the devices we have. Now after the devices, these are network devices. When you go to the end devices here, so these are the end devices we have. End devices like the client machines we have, like PC we have laptops here, we can connect servers, we can connect this Meraki server, network controller, printer, iPhone, IP phone, we voice over IP devices, phones, TV, tablets, smartphones, generic wireless devices, generic wired, sniffer. So all of these are like, we can consider them as a end devices. For us, for the networking, for the network administrators, these are the end devices. Either it is server or PC. For us, they are all like a end devices. Same as we use the routers, we can use these devices also. We can just click on it and drag it, select where you want to put it, and if you want to drag, then you can click, hold and drag also. You can also see the physical view of these end machines also. This is the physical view you can see. It is a front physical view, and here we have the power a network port. Here we have the USB ports also, it is showing here. So these ports are also there. This is our network adapter, wired network adapter, and if you want to add the wireless adapter to this PC, it is not by default there. So because this is the desktop machine, so if you want to add, there is an option here to add. So you can drag and drop it here to have the wireless, but still you cannot add it here when the machine is power on. So for adding it, we have to shut down the machine. So now the machine is not running and the port is already there, so you remove that port and then you add this wireless adapter into it. So this will do what? It will add the wireless functionality to this PC, this desktop PC. But this is the laptop PC, so laptop PC by default has the wireless input. So you have these here. This is what the laptop machine. Again, here is the power port here, power port here, and also we have the power button here. We can also switch on this, switch off this device, and also we have option to remove this, but we can't do that when the power is on. So power off and remove it and add the wireless adapter also. So this is what the PC and laptop. Then you have server machines also. You can also see the physical view of the server. It looks like this. Again, you have the LAN wired port here, and if you want, then you can add the wireless port also. For that, switch off and add, and then switch on. So these are the end devices here. Then these are the end devices, and in the end devices you have these home devices are also available. These are free, these ACs and all that. These devices are also here. Now why these devices are there? Because nowadays these devices are getting smart. They are also working with the network. They are doing what they're doing smartly things. So now we can say that these devices are also smart now. Then we have the smart city device, smart city devices, and these are also same like we use in the home and some city. Then these are the industrial devices, and this is what the power grid we have. So these are the devices we have, and devices. Then in this side you have components like you can use this board, actuator, you have sensor. So you can do some electronic things also in this packet tracer. Then after using the network devices, you have to connect them also. Like when I use the switch here, so I have to connect this switch to these PCs also, and then I have to connect this switch to routers also, and I have to connect these routers to router also, and for that we have these connections here. So when you select the connections, so these are the connection options here, and in the connection options we have these connections. These are different connections we have. So as we know here, this is the console cable. Console cable is used to do what? Console cables are used to do what? To connect the console port of the router to our serial port of the PC. Why? So that we can configure the router. And you can see the color of that console port. This is the console port. Then we have this copper straight through cable. We can see here it says copper straight through cable. So we want to connect two different devices, then we can use the straight through cable. And then if the same devices we have, we want to connect the same devices, then we use the crossover cable. And this is the fiber optic cable to connect the fiber optic devices. This is the phone cable to connect the phones. Then this is the coaxial cable, and this is the serial cable. So these are the serial cables, these are the octal cables, IoT custom cables, and USB cables. So based on the device and communication network we want, we can choose the cables and connect them. Like for example, PC to switch I want to connect, so I will use this straight through cable. I will click on this straight through cable. I will go on to select the device, like I want to connect this PC to switch. So I click on this PC. It says which port you want to connect. USB 1, USB 2. I think it is not having a network device. Okay, it is not having the wired port, it is actually having the wireless port, which was because we removed the wired port from this. So it was not giving me option. So I will remove this from here again, and I will connect back the wire port. And the machine is also not running, so I started the machine. Now again I will select the straight through cable, then I will click on the PC. So now I know I will get this port. This is the fast Ethernet port to connect the PC to the network. These ports are for the USB connection. This is for the USB connection, and this is the serial port. This is the serial port where we can connect the machine to console, the machine to the router's console. So I select this, and then you can see the cable here, and you can connect it wherever you want. So I want to connect it to this switch. So I click on the switch, and on the switch we have these multiple fast Ethernet ports. So I can select any of this. I will go for one. So this is how I connect this. Now for console cable, so if I select console cable, so console cables are used to connect routers. So I will click on router, and in the router we have these multiple ports here. So I will select the console port, and you can see the color of the cable, and I will click on this PC to connect to this serial port. So same as you can connect multiple network ports like these cables also for doing the configurations. Now there is another option here, it is says auto. This option will do what? It will automatically choose the connection. That means you don't have to choose the connection. It will automatically connect the connection. Like either it is used to connect the console, straight through, crossover, whatever the cable type it wants to use, you want to use, it will automatically connect. Like whatever available, it will automatically connect. Like I will click on this and I will select this switch, and then I will select to this PC. It says it cannot connect because remember I removed this wired Ethernet port from this PC also. So I will connect to this router. Now automatically it will select the port, like which port it has connected. We have not selected it, it is automatically selected. So whatever the available port is there, it will automatically connect to it. So you can choose automatic, but you will not know. Now automatically it connects, but I don't know which port it is connected. So I don't know which port it is connected, so we should go by the manually, that which port we want to connect. So this is what the packet tracer, where you can do what? You can use these devices, routers, switches and end devices, PCs, and you can connect them together, and you can use them, to do the practice of the networking things, or you can design your network. You can do what? Pre-design your network before going on to the physical environment, and it is a very good for the practicing of this. So these are the devices we have here in this Cisco Packet Tracer, which we can use to configure and do the practices. Then these are the tools we use. This tool is to move the device. Like suppose I choose one device here. So if I want to move this device and hold this device to move anywhere, so we have this selection here, and this option is to search or inspect. So you can select this router to inspect. You can inspect the routing table. You can see the IPv6 routing table, ARP table, NAT table, quality of service, port status and summary table. Like port status and summary table, when I click, it shows the status of the ports. So this is what the search inspect one. This is to delete. If you click on this, it will say you want to delete this. So you can delete the router or delete the device by using this. And you see, when you select this, you will see this cross. Your cursor will look like this cross, and what device you want to delete, you select the device and you can delete that. This one is to resize the device. Okay, and this one is to write something for you. Like for this router, like suppose I want to give some name to this router, but because I want to just identify, so I will put the name here, that this router is belong to here or there. So you can write something for this, your design or something. You can move these things also. You can create the designs also, like these rectangles, ellipse and free draw. You can draw something. You can select your design, you can select the color you want to fill or not fill. Like I want to fill with this color, and then I can select this. So these will help you to design your network. So sometime when you design your network, so these designing things will work. Then this option is to send the packet. Add the simple PDU and add the complex PDU. So it is to create the PDU for sending. Remember, this is virtual, so we want to test the data is going or not going. So we can create the PDU and send it. So these are the options we have here. And then these are options like to create new, open, save, print, information, and these user profiles, activities, and copy, paste, undo, redo, zoom, zoom in, zoom out, like zoom in, zoom out, or reset, and the other options. Other options are like to open the viewpoint and show the works list, view the command logs, custom device log dialogues, and also for cluster association. Now this is how these devices are, and this is what the options we have. And also we have the logical and physical view. So logical is like what we design on paper, and physical what it looks like. So physical, when you select, it looks like this. This is your city, this is your corporate office, and in the corporate office, this is your corporate office. Let me zoom out. So it looked like this is your office, these are the rooms, different rooms, and right now we have only one router, so it is here. So we can get the idea of how it is designed, and you can have these options here to add something into your design. Like you can add something here, you can add tables. So these are what things you can do and to design your network, and this is what the logical viewpoint. Now we'll see how we can configure the routers and switches. I will do what, I will delete this first. Okay, so I'm going to select one of this router here, and I want to configure that router. So let's say I select this router here. Now I want to configure this router. So for configuring the router, what we do what, we connect the router through the console port to PC's serial port, so that we can get the command line interface of this router, and then we can configure the router. So how it goes, I want to configure this router, so I will go for end devices and I will select one PC here. Now I want to have a terminal for this router, and then what, I will go for connections, and under the connection, what we will do, we will use the console cable. Now this is the real scenario. In real scenario, this is how you do the connection. So you will take the router, your router is there. In the router you have a console port, so you will put your desktop machine or laptop machine there, and then you will use the console cable, and then the console cable you will connect on router, you will connect on the console port. You can do this from the auxiliary port also, but you can do it from auxiliary port and console port both, but the console port is the main port. So you select this, and then you connect the port to your PC serial port. So you will use it to connect it into serial port. So this is the serial port, which is the 9-pin serial port. Now after you connect that, you will go to your PC, and in the PC you will do what, you will open the terminal of that server, that router. Now how you will do that in real machine? So in a real machine, what you will need is hyper terminal. In a real machine, in this desktop machine, what you need is a software called hyper terminal. Now that hyper terminal was pre-inbuilt. It was inbuilt in Windows 10, Windows XP, but now it is not there inbuilt it. So you have to download it. You have to download that hyper terminal. So hyper terminal is not inbuilt in Windows 10 now. So you will go and download it. You will go to this Google and search for hyper terminal. Hyper terminal for Windows 10. So it shows this, that there is a hyper terminal for Windows 7, 8 and 10, for Vista also, and it is saying that download the free trial. That means like it is not free. And then one more, it is saying you have for Windows 10, 11 also. So if I open the link here, so it shows here that these are the hyper terminal, and you can download the free trial or you can purchase it. So that means it is not free here. So if you want, then you can use it, you can download it, you can check the free trial. If you like it, then you can use it, you can buy it. I have downloaded this hyper terminal trial version, and then what, you have to install it, include the desktop shortcut, install the hyper terminal to its default location where it goes. So I'll say okay, next. I want it to have a desktop shortcut, so I see and proceed. and it is now done. So it is installed now. Now I will open it and I'll show you how it looks. Now when I open this, it says there are 29 days left for your trial, and would you like to register now? I say no, I wanted to use it. Then it says, would you like to check for the updates now? So I say no, because right now I have downloaded it, so I don't want to check for update. We recommend that you make hyperterminal for your default telnet program. So do you want to do that? I will say no for this time, and then it is started here. Now what we do, so after connecting the router to our serial port, we start this hyperterminal, and then we first time when you open it, so it asks you to configure this location related information. This is the first time it wants to do, and then whatever the codes and city code and all that, whatever, if you do want, then you give the information, otherwise it will okay. So this is saved. Now it opens this terminal. Now here it is saying you may need to install the modem before you can make a connection. Would you like to do this? For right now I will not do this, because we are not doing the modem connection. What we are doing is connecting the router through the serial port to the console port of the router directly. We are not using the modems in between. So this is the connection we are getting, and it is saying what will be the connection icon for this and what will be the name for the connection. Now this connection name and the icon, it will be saved. If you want to save, then when you can save the connection. So next time when you want to open the connection, you can open it by this name and this. You can save it anywhere in the machine, like you can save it on desktop, and next time when you want to open, you can directly open it. So I named it. Now here it will ask you to connect. Now here it is not showing the serial port information, because there is no serial port in my machine and it is not connected with the router. If it is connected with the router, then it will show you the serial port information. It will show you the serial port, and it also show you the dial-up connection information, so that you can dial in to connect also. Right now we don't have, so it is directly asking for telnet connection. It is directly asking for the telnet connection. It is not connecting the serial. But if you connect this, then what? Here on this terminal you will see the router interface, router's command line interface, and you can use this command line interface to configure the router. So right now we have not connected any router to our physical machine, so we don't have anything. It is not showing anything here. It is showing disconnected. So if you have connected, then you can see the options and you can see the router's interface. But this one is now not free. It is not free. That means after 29 days it is going to be stop. It is going to stop, and we are not able to use it anymore unless we purchase this. Now if you want to use a free software for that, for configuring the router, so we can use the another software, and that is what it is called PuTTY. We can use this PuTTY. It is a free and very small software to do the remote connection. All the kind of remote connection you can do. It is very light and very small software. Very useful. You can do any all these remote connections like SSH, Telnet, R-login, and also serial connection to configure the routers and switches. It is very small software. You can just download it from here. You can download the installer, MSI for Windows. You can download for the Linux also. All the options are there. So for example, I will go for the Windows and 64-bit version, and it is only 2.94 MB. Now I will open this, and it is need to install. And now it is installed, and it is a very light software. Now we'll open this PuTTY, and this is our PuTTY. and it can do every kind of remote connection, and there are lots of options available here. You can do the SSH connection, you can do the telnet connection, you can do the rlogin, raw, bare SSH connection, whatever you want. And with that, with all of that, you can do the serial connection also. So here, if you want to select the router, if you want to connect the router or switch which is connected through our serial port, serial ports are also called as a COM port, COM1, COM0 if you have multiple ports. So we can select this serial connection here, and we can select the serial line. What is by default, it is selected COM1. So you can select the line which you want to connect, you can select the baud rate speed. This is the default one, 9600. It is the default one, and it will work. So we select this and then we press open, and it will do what? It will open the connection of your router. Right now it is not opening because there is no connection into physical machine. So this is the way what we will open the connection of our router. Now how we are going to do it in our virtual machine, in our packet tracer. So in the packet tracer we'll do it as the same as you do it in the physical machine. So in the packet tracer we'll do what? We'll do the same thing, like this is our router, and we connected the router console port to our PC serial port. Then we'll go to the PC here, and in a PC, this is the physical view. This is the physical view here. Now with that physical view, we have the desktop view also. We have these other options also available, where we have the config option. This option is to configure your device, configure your PC, and this is what the desktop your PC. This is the desktop of our PC, where we can do what? We can configure the IP addresses for this PC, we can use the dial-up connection, we can go for the command prompt, we can go for the browser, we can go for the Cisco IP communicator, SNMP MIB browser, we have traffic generator, VPN, wireless configurations, firewall, email and text editor, Bluetooth, lots of things we have here. We have IoT, IDE also, IoT monitor also, lots of devices are available here. We can do the telnet and SSH also, and with all of these we have this terminal option also. This is what the hyper terminal, it is the hyper terminal we can say, or this is the serial connection. So if we want to get the access of our router, so on this desktop of the PC we will select this terminal. Remember, we have already connected it, we have connected it with this serial console port in the serial port of our this PC. Then we'll go to the PC desktop and click on this terminal. Now when you click on the terminal, it says what will be the connection properties, like baud rate, bit rates per second, this is the default, data bits, parity, stop bits, flow control. So how this is going to be communicate? So these are the default one, and we don't require to change these things. So we will say OK here directly. And now what we are seeing here is our router's interface, and it is looking very small. The text are very small here. So why it is very small? Because we have not it is actually, so because the text was very small, it was very hard to see. So I will go to my packet tracer options here, and under the option I will go to the preference, and there is an option for fonts here. Remember the option for fonts here, and here what? The CLI option. So the CLI option is set to 8 points only, and 8 points is very small and we are not able to see anything. So we can increase as much as we want, or as much whatever we liked, and we can change the style of the font also. So we select, I will go for 12 here also. I think 12 will be more, so I will go for 11 here. And for the tool tips, that means in a tool we will see these tips of these icons and all that, so we can also increase that. Okay, it is 10 is enough. Okay, I will go for 11. And then you can change the colors also, colors of those text and background. I will not change these colors, I will go for default, and I will apply this. Now when I apply this, I will go back to open this terminal again. So I go back to select the PC again, and then what I will do, I will open the terminal again. So I will click on the terminal again. This is the bitrate. I say OK, and now we can see the text, and I think it is still looking very small. I'll go for 12 now. I will go for 12. Font, I'll go for 12. So again I will go to select the terminal and bitrate, and now it is showing like this. Now what this is showing here is a boot process of our router. This is the boot process of our router, that how the router boots. Now remember what happens when we start the router first time. So first time when the router starts, it do what? It do the post. Post means POST, and it do the power on self test. And after power on self test, that means it do test its own all the resources available, devices available, and if everything is okay, then the bootstrap program starts. The post, when it runs, it does not show you the result. It does not show you the result. It shows the result after loading the iOS. So when the post run, we don't see anything. When the bootstrap runs, you can see the bootstrap here. It is saying that the bootstrap is running, system bootstrap version this, and this is the bootstrap which is running with this version. This is the size, and this is what, and this is this. Now what, after running the bootstrap program, what it do, it try to find out the operating system, and it is initializing the ROM monitor, and it is trying to see the operating system, inter-network operating system, and it found the operating system in flash. By default it always found it in the flash unless we changed it. So it is found here, and it is loading in the flash memory. It is kept it as a compressed. So it is doing what? Decompressing the operating system image, iOS image, and after decompressing it, it loads that image here. And when it is loading the image, operating system image, inter-network operating system, then it shows the information about the iOS. And now here it is showing the information about the iOS. It is saying that this is Cisco iOS software for C290 2900 series of router software, and this is the version of the iOS, and this is what the other information, and this is also the information about the iOS. Then after that, after loading the operating system, it will try to find out the configurations. Now if the configuration is found, then what, it will load the configurations. Now if the configuration is not found, then it will not load the configuration. It will go for the system setup mode, and it shows here first the information about the post it runs. The first it runs the post, it shows the information here, that what are the physical information about the device. Like this is what the Cisco 2901K9 revision version with this memory size in byte of memory. This is the processor board ID. This is there is 2 gigabit Ethernet port interface we have in this router. We don't have any fast Ethernet port or Ethernet port. DRAM configuration is 64 bits, 64 bits wide with parity disabled. Then 255 KB byte for non-volatile memory, that NVRAM, and then this is the flash memory. It is 249856K. It's KB. K bytes, and it is the system compact flash memory here. So it is showing the information of post, and then what, it is going for the system setup mode. So it is going for the setup mode, and it is asking you some simple question to configure your router. Like first it is asking you that would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog box. So if you say no here, then it will directly give you the terminal of your router without any configuration. But if you say yes, I want to do the configuration, then what, it will go on to configure your router by asking these simple questions. It says, would you like to enter the basic management setup? I say yes. Then it says, what will be your host name for the router? By default is this router name. Now name of the router is this. So you want to put any name? I say I want to put some name here. Then it is saying what will be the secret, enable the enter the enable secret, and I don't know what is enable secret. Now remember, suppose you are the first time user, you are using it first time, so you will not know that what is enable secret and what is this and that. So it is hard for you to do these basic configurations. This is for the users who knows everything, but you don't know everything, then you should not go for this basic configurations. You should say no here directly. You should say no directly here and then do it manually, and mostly the administrators don't want to do this automatically. They want the free hand. They do what they do, just give no here and then go on to configure it everything manually. Now if suppose we have added something, like we have said yes here, and we did some configurations, like we did assign the name here, we did assign some enable secret, and we did assign some other things also, but we don't know what we are doing. So what we can do, we can close it anytime without saving any changes. Whatever the changes we did, it is not going to be saved, and we will exit from this setup mode. So if we want to exit from the setup mode without saving any changes, so we will press Ctrl C at any time between this setup mode. We can press Ctrl C, Ctrl plus C from our keyboard, and it closed this setup mode without saving anything. And now what it is saying, press enter to get started, press return to get started. Return means enter. So it is saying you want to start the router, you want to start the configurations, then just press return key and then you are started. So when you press the return key, that means enter key, you will be enter into the router. And this is what the default name for the router. Remember, it was showing here that this is the default name, and I did change the name, but it is not saved because I Ctrl C. I close this and I go exit from the setup mode. So it is using the default name. And this is the second mode we have of the router. The first mode what we have is this setup mode, when your router is not configured. Now when your router is configured, so at this time it load the configuration, and then it will say this. After loading the configuration, it will say press return to get started, and when you press enter, you will logged into your router like this with all your configurations. But right now we don't have any configuration, so it is not showing any configuration. So it goes into the setup mode, but I exit from here, and we should directly say no here, so that it will directly say press return to get started, and then you can press enter and you will start. So the first mode for the router will be this mode. This setup mode is actually a special mode. You will see only when you don't have saved configurations. If you have saved configurations, you will never see this setup mode. So the first mode which you see is this mode, and this mode is actually called user mode. Now this is how we do connect the router in real environment. What we do here, we connect the router through the console port to this PC, and then we go for the PC and you open the terminal. But now, because we are working on this virtual packet tracer, we are using the virtual router here, we have a benefit here. We have a benefit here that we should not do these console connections. If we don't want to do this, then what we can do, we can directly click on router. This is the physical view of the router, and if we want to configure this router, so we can directly go on to CLI here. We can directly go to CLI and we can directly configure this router. This is the physical view, this is the CLI view. So we can directly go to CLI and we can see the terminal of the router, and we can see it. We can see the bootstrap, we can see this, it is loading, and we can see what we have. Press Ctrl C here, and then what, we are into this mode. So we can do directly this. We don't require this connection, like do this connection and see the router interface. We can directly click on router to see the terminal of router from this CLI option. So this is how we can do what, we can access the router for configurations. In real scenario, how we will access through using this console port to the real machine. But in virtual, we can directly click on the router. This is the physical view, this is the CLI view. We can do for the CLI and we can do what, we can configure what we want to configure. We don't have to go for every time doing this. And there is also one more thing here, it is a config mode. In config tab, you can do it graphically also, like what you want to configure, you can configure it graphically also. But this is not for the real thing, it is not a real router. Real router does not have these things. So real router only have these command line interface. So we will see how we can configure our router using this command line interface. And for that, first you have to understand the modes of router. So this is the first mode of this router. It is still showing little small, so I will increase this again. Router iOS text is black and background is white. So I will do what, I will change the background as black and the text as white. So it will do what, it will do this, so we can see the text easily. Now these are the virtual configurations, this is not for the real routers. And okay, and still this so this is what, this is the router boot process, and after the booting, router will show you the setup mode only when you are having no configurations. But if you have a configuration, then router will show you this, press return to get started, and when you press return, press enter, then it will go for this first mode. So this is the first mode of the router we have. So router modes, what modes we have? So this Cisco iOS command line interface is divided into different command modes, and each command mode has its own set of commands available for the configuration. Remember, each mode has their own commands, and for configuration, maintenance and monitoring of router and the network operations. So entering a question mark. Now entering the question mark at the system promote, router promote allows you to obtain a list of commands available for each command mode. Like if you want to see that, as he said that in each mode we have a different commands, and if you want to see all the commands what we have, we can put the question mark anytime in between the command also, to see what we can press next. Then the standard order that a user would access the command is like this. Like first, when you access the router, you will get into the user exe mode. This is the first mode you see, and it looks like what we have seen right now. Then the next mode for the router is privileged exe mode. After the privilege, we have global configuration mode, and under the global configuration mode we have some specific configuration modes and configuration sub modes. These configuration special modes and sub modes will come under the global configuration mode. So the first mode comes is the user mode. User mode means what? This user mode is the first mode as user has access to after logging into the router, and the user mode can be identified by this greater than sign and in a promote and following the router name. So this mode allows the user to execute only the basic commands. Remember, this mode is for the only basic commands, such as those that shows the system status, and the router cannot be configured or restart restarted from this mode. So this mode is only for doing little like we can say monitoring or checking the status. But in this mode we cannot do configurations, and we also cannot restart the routers. And it looks like this. As we saw right now, this is the name of the router, this is the default name, and if you change the name of the router, then you will see the changed name. But when you see this sign here, that means you are under the user mode. The next mode is what? Privilege mode. Now to go into privilege mode, we'll do what? Under the user mode, we give command enable. When we give command enable, so it will do what? It will change the mode to privilege mode. Now this privilege mode do what? This privilege mode allows the user to view the system configurations. So this mode is especially used for viewing the configurations what we have. Then restart the system and enter router configuration mode. That means we can do restart the router with this mode, and also we can move to configuration mode from this user privilege mode. So from this privilege mode we can move to configuration mode. Then this privilege mode also allows all the commands that are available in user mode. So all the commands which is in the user mode, that all the commands are also available in this privilege mode. Then from the user mode, a user can change to privilege mode by running the enable command. So as we saw here, when you run the enable command in the user mode, you will change into the privilege mode. Then also we can keep a enable password or enable secret restrict access to privilege mode. Then we can also restrict the access of privilege mode. Restrict the access of privilege mode, that means when you are in the user mode and you want to go to privilege mode, when you run this command enable, then it will ask the password. It will ask the password, and if you give the right password, only then you will go into privilege mode. Then we can enable secret password uses, we can enable the password and secret password, and this secret password uses a strong encryption when it is stored in the configuration file, and it is more safe. We actually have two type of passwords there, normal password and enable password, enable secret password. Secret password is more secure than the enable password. Now privilege mode look like this. So after when you run this command here in the user mode, you will be in the privilege mode, and it look like this, hash at the end. Now the next mode is global configuration mode. As the name says, it is a configuration mode where we can do the all configurations. So whatever we want to configure, we can do all the configuration from this global configuration mode. So this global configuration mode allows user to modify the running system configuration from the privilege mode. A user can move to configuration mode by running this command, configure space terminal. And this command from privilege mode, you can move to configuration mode. Now to exit from the configuration mode, the user can enter the end command. It can run end, or it can run also exit, or also it can run what command, or also it can do what, press Ctrl Z, and it will do what, it will exit from this configuration mode. And it global configuration mode looks like this. You will see the router name, then under the bracket you will see config, and then you will see the hash. This indicates that this is the global configuration mode. Now the changes you made from configuration mode is permanent, and the affect the entire router until the next time any changes has been made from the configuration mode. To change mode from privilege mode to global mode, you can just simply type config and press enter, which will change mode to the default terminal as shown below. Now if you want to change from the privilege mode to config mode, you can also only type config and you can change it to privilege mode, this global configuration mode, or you can type the full command configuration terminal. Then to directly make changes in the startup configurations, you can use the configuration memory or config memory command, and it will merge running configurations and startup configuration file in RAM. Now what that means, remember we have RAM, and in the RAM what we have is the running configurations. Running configurations, like whatever we are configuring right now, it is stored into the RAM. Remember, RAM is not a volatile, so it is a volatile memory. So when our router switched off, all the configurations will be deleted. So we do what? We save the configuration and save the configuration into NVRAM. So next time when you boot, your configurations will be loaded from NVRAM to RAM. So our configurations are saved into NVRAM when you restart the router. So the configurations will be loaded from the NVRAM to RAM. So if we want to merge the configurations, then you can run the command. You can run this command, mem command, config mem command, and it will do what? It will merge the configuration of startup configurations, what is saved, and what is the configurations we have configured in the RAM, in the running configuration. Like the configuration is loaded from the RAM, NVRAM, and right now it is this. Then we have extra configurations in RAM, so both will be merged. Now here are some of the other options under the configuration mode. Now under the configuration mode we have some other options, like when we run this command config, you will see these other options. Other options are like confirm. Confirm means confirm the replacement of running configuration with the new config file. So it will do what? It will confirmly merge the configuration, replace the configuration of running configuration to other configuration file of saved from NVRAM. Then memory, that means configure from NVRAM, NV memory. So when you run this, so it will configure your routers using the NVRAM. Network, configure from the TFTP network host. Override network, that will do what? Override the NV memory from TFTP network host. Now TFTP, that means we can configure a separate TFTP server. It could be Windows or Linux machine, and it can use to send the configuration to router. We can save the configuration in this TFTP server. We can take the configurations from this TFTP server, and that what you can do with this network override network. Replace means replace the running config with the new config file. And the terminal means it will take you to the terminal and you will configure what you want to configure. These options are with this config command when you go and try to go to the config mode. Then we have some sub global configuration modes. Global config sub modes. Sub modes, that means these modes comes after we go into the global configurations and depend on the different configurations we want to do. So there are several sub modes are there, like interface mode, and it is used to configure the details about the specific router interface, such as the IP addresses, like the interface fast Ethernet, serial interface. So with these interface need to have an IP addresses or other information. So when you want to configure that, then you will go into the interface mode, and when you go into that interface mode, it will show config-if. That means it is the interface mode, and to enter the interface mode, type the interface name in the global configuration mode. Like I want to go to this interface mode, so what I will do, I will type the command interface, and then I will type the name of the interface, and then I will type the number of the interface, and it will take me to this global configuration mode for the interface, and then add the various parameter to that interface. Then there is another configuration mode, sub configuration mode. It is called line configuration mode. Now this configuration, it is used to configure the details about the line modes, like these console port, VTI or auxiliary port. Remember, the console port are we use to connect the router. So we want to change some configuration for the console port. So we will use this command and we will go to the configuration line mode. And it look like this, like config-line. From here, to enter the line configuration mode, we can type the line console 0 in the global configuration mode, and then configure a lot of things for console, including the login and password also, that we can set the password for the login. Then we have another mode, that is router configuration mode. This configuration detail about the routing protocols, and it looks like this. So when we want to configure the routing, then we go to the router configuration mode, and it goes like, it looks like this, config-router. Now these modes we will use to do the multiple different configurations. So as we do the configurations, we will see all those modes. But the basic modes are these modes. The basic modes are these: user modes, privilege mode, and global configuration mode. Now one more thing, you cannot go directly to the global configuration mode. First you have to go to user mode, then you have to go to privilege mode, then you can go to global configuration mode. You cannot go directly to the global configuration mode. You have to go through all these user and privilege mode to go to the configuration mode. So if you want to configure anything, you have to go to user mode. It is like logging in your router. Then you go to privilege mode, and then from privilege mode you can go to this global configuration mode. So how we'll do it in our route. So this is our router. When you go to the command of this router, it is timed out, it is out. So you do what? You press first enter. Now when you press enter, you will be in this user mode. This is the user mode. And if you want to see what commands you want to type, you can give in this user mode. So you can give question mark here. So when I give question mark, you can see I can run these number of commands here. But these are very small number of commands, because you can't do much things from this user mode. So for doing the more configuration, we go to the privilege mode, and for that we give command enable and press enter. Now we are under the enable mode. We can see the hash here. What commands we can type here? We can give the question mark, and we can see it is having more command than user mode. Now, but still we cannot configure from here. So for configuring, we have to go to configuration mode, global configuration mode, and for that we run the command configure and then terminal. When you press enter, you will be in the global configuration mode here, and it looks like this. Now this global configuration mode, you want to exit from here, then you can press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, or you can press end, or you can press exit. So if you want to exit from here, now the sub modes will come after this, like interface mode, line mode, router mode. Those modes will come after the configuration mode. But when you want to exit from here, you can press end anytime. It will exit from the global configuration mode. You want to exit from this router privilege mode, then you can type disable. We type enable to get into it, to we want to come out of here, so we can press disable. Okay, I gave a wrong spelling here, disable. So when you give the wrong spelling, what it will do, it will try to translate the command from the DNS server. Okay, I will give what? Now I will give the right spelling, disable, and I get out from this enable privilege mode. This privilege mode also uses these users call it enable mode, because to get into this we type the enable command. So sometime user says enable mode for this. Okay, now I want to get out from this user mode, so I will say log off. Log off, that means we do what? It is actually log out. Again I did wrong. So when again I give a wrong spelling, it will try to resolve the name. It is log out, and it is logging out. So log out, when you want to log in, so you enter, it is logging in. When you want to go to enable mode, privilege mode, so we give command privilege enable, and sometimes user says privilege mode also, because we give enable command here. Now to go to global configuration mode, we give command configure. And if I give question mark here, you see we can give question mark any time in a command. So when I give question mark here, it shows here that I can give these options. I can give this command terminal here. Now it is a virtual router, but if it is a real router, then you have seen those other options. Those other options like those memory, network interface, those options are also shows here. Because it is virtual, it is not showing those options. It is only showing terminal. So we can give only terminal, or we can do what, we can directly type configure, and it will take you to this, and it will show here that you can write what, you can go for the terminal, you can go for memory, you can go for network also. By default it is going for terminal. So when I press enter directly, so it will take me to terminal. So these are the modes, these are the basic modes we have. Sub modes you will see when we do those configurations, like related configurations, we can see those sub modes like interface mode, line modes, and router modes, and there are other modes are also there. So those modes you will see based on the configuration you do, but these are the basic modes, like the user mode, then the privilege mode, and then the global configuration mode. And remember, you cannot go directly to these modes, like you cannot go directly privilege mode. You have to first go to user mode, then you can go to privilege mode. You cannot go directly to the config mode, like from your user mode you cannot go to directly privilege configuration mode. You have to go to the user privilege mode, then you can go to the global configuration mode. So these are the basic modes we have for the routers. For router or for this iOS or for Cisco iOS, whether it is router or even if you are using the switch, it is the same interface, same modes we have. So we have seen today modes of router, how the routers we can configure, we can do the practice, how we can use this packet tracer also.